What is going on, everybody? Welcome to 2025. This is the first video I'm making this year, and I wanted to show you a move that I did not catch. I did not trade this in hindsight, but this is the power of using the cumulative delta and the volume delta to spot reversals and potentially hold winning trades longer or better. And mind you, this is going to be trading in hindsight. This is simply a review video, something that I saw that I wanted to share with you. So hopefully you can see it, spot it in the future, and profit from it as well. So you're going to notice that on the screen here, it's the 5-minute chart for the NASDAQ on both sides. And that is because we are going to be focusing on this reversal spot right here, mainly this area of consolidation, uncertainty, whatever you want to call it. But there were a few areas of confluence here that spotted what could have been a really, really profitable trade for you. And you can say the same thing about this move here, but this was the much cleaner move, in my opinion, to hold much longer once you had the EMA crosses. But that's not the topic of this video. What we're going to mainly focus on is the cumulative delta and the volume delta. So on Tradeovate, it's known as the volume delta grid. I have that right here as the bottom um, indicator on this little screen, if you could see that. So it's the volume delta grid. And the only thing that sucks about it on Tradeovate is that you have to zoom in pretty closely to see the delta. And I plan on getting a second monitor for this when I can have one wired up. But on the left side of the screen here, you'll notice the cumulative delta, which is just the indicator here below the VWAP. It just says cumulative delta, and that's what's reflected at the bottom of this screen. And all the delta represents is the difference between the bid and the ask. So I'm not going to go through a complete how-to tutorial. There's thousands of other videos. That's not going to be this channel, so go find one of those. But let's jump into what the purpose of this video is about. So as we zoom in on this zone, we can see that our optimal entry is one of these three candles right here, or this candle right here. Now, mind you, this is on the 5-minute chart, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the drawings. But you'll notice that we have this area of complete support on these two candles. So we had a drop and then a massive bullish engulfing candle and a retest of that support. And we put in another area of support right here at the bottom of the volume profile. And then you'll notice that as we push up and we retest, we have an immediate launch and then we're off to the races, right? But how can we spot this using the cumulative delta or the volume delta? Well, as we zoom out here, you'll notice we are in a selling downtrend, right? So as we're looking at this selling downtrend, you'll notice that the volume delta or the cumulative delta starts to have some imbalance, some inefficiencies. We go from 279 negative to positive 88 to negative 619, negative 256, negative 122. However, negative 181 here, positive 68, negative 229. That was the retest right here of this inefficiency, and then the immediate buy up. So how can we use this numerical data to help us find an optimal entry or to allow us to hold our trades better, right? Because if you're looking at NASDAQ on the 1-minute chart, it's going to look like a massive choppy mess, but on the 5-minute, you'll notice it's a much cleaner move up. Well, as we push down, you'll notice we have this massive volume bar here with negative 619 delta, followed by a much smaller bar at negative 256, but we have our first green bar at 122. And now if we shoot over here to the left side of the screen, this is reflected here at a much more zoomed out version, but you'll notice we have these sort of imbalance candles and then we shoot up. This is the optimal side of the trade right here. Or if you missed it or you thought you missed it, you would get in on this retest because you'll notice this 5-minute candle pushes into this imbalance and then we immediately close and then rocket higher. But when we're using cumulative delta, what do we notice? We notice that we have, I'm going to draw a line here, our price action moving up. And then as we go to the cumulative delta, we have a divergence. We have the delta going down while price action is going up. This tells us that any subsequent dip should be bought respectfully, right? So as we've tested this candle, we buy. As we test this candle, we buy. As we test this candle, we buy, right? Because we're never really putting in a lower low to a certain extent. Now, mind you, of course, we're trading in hindsight, but these are the divergence that you want to watch for: price action moving up, delta going down, before or to use as confirmation to get into a trade and to hold it. But I like to use the numerical representation, not the histogram that's on the left side here. I like to use the numerical representation because that gives you much better insight as to what's going on within those candles, right? Now, the histogram, of course, reflects the same data differently, but when we have this volume event that pushes down negative 619, and then we have an immediate candle that's less than half of what the volume on this candle was, and then we have a green close with some negative delta, followed by another green close with negative delta, that means buyers are slowly becoming more into control before they completely take over and move us to the upside. And then we have our EMA crossover, which is just another confluence that we could use. And then we are off to the races. So this, in my opinion, was the much better trade to hold on to than this trade, although it's a nice clean move up to retest VWAP before a sell-off. But I like this as we start to smooth out. We have a nice doji candle and then a push up. So that's my favorite setup. Something that I missed today because I'm focused very heavily on real estate for the first quarter of this year. But I saw this and I wanted to share it with you. So if this was helpful, guys, please, by all means, drop a comment down below. I want to really take this trading channel to the next level this year when the time is right. And I'm going to do it with all of your help. So comment down below, share with your friends, give me a subscribe and a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.